Welcome to Victorious Voices. We have a great guest today, exceptional leader, Mrs. Carrillo, trauma-informed, restorative in her approach and how she connects with the kids. She's a principal here at Hoover, 2, 3 blocks down the way. And her heart, her mind, her intelligence on how she connects with the kids. She comes from a place of love, but at the same time, a place of structure and discipline when discipline is needed. And so that's the restorative approach and doing it with the kids and being there with them and uplifting their spirits. And so I'm honored to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a
How are you
pleasure to be
doing?
here. I'm doing great. It's day 4 of the school year, and we're seeing some amazing things already.
Awesome. Awesome. And so what's your vibe of the students and how they feeling and how's the culture?
You know, we ended last year in a great place. We had opportunities to sit with kids. I know you guys were very involved, integral in bringing kids together from different groups, and the peace treaty was groundbreaking. It just changed everything. And so we were able to end the year in a great place, focused on instruction, focused on kids getting to school, staying in school, getting them graduated. We went into summer, and I don't work summer school. I'm not the principal for summer school, but I'm there to support our APs who do run summer school. And it was smooth. I mean, they were like, this is easy. We don't, it was amazing. And so we wrapped up summer school with this without a single incident, which is unheard of. And then honestly, we were thinking over the summer, well, we're going to go back, and what are we going back to? Our kids, are we going to start at square one? Are we going to have to start from the very beginning? Kind of just reintroducing the structure and the expectations. No, not really. Kids came in and the bell rang on the first day and they started walking to class. And I know that sounds silly, like, well, duh, what else would they have done? Well, if you were there on the first day of school last year, you'd know that the bell was just an interruption in the talk they were having. And then they'd go right back to talking, and asking them to get to class was a big deal. No, they're like, oh, that's the bell. We better get going.
And I'm glad we got ahead of it early as well. You were already there at summer and your representation, us being at the first 2 days there. And then I remember Michelle coming back and no incident, no incident. Scotty coming back, no incident, knock on wood, no incident, right? And so last year we went the last 3 months without an incident. And to that, for us, that was very inspiring and touching. And it took a whole collaborative of community, your leadership and staff member at Hoover High, but most importantly, the kids to buy into the process. And so when you mention peace treaty, that's something that now we got to get into the calendar now, right?
Yes.
And schedule that and connect and bring in these groups together that they just might have some differences or really not have differences because they really don't want to fight in the school, right?
Right.
If they fight, there's going to be consequences for that.
Right.
And so coming back to school and creating that space where it's a place of learning and growing. And I was on KUSI and Fox News yesterday with Edgar Juarez, and he was Hoover High,
Mhm.
and he ended up getting into an incident, and his growth has just been amazing. We've been working with them for going on 2 years, and he's just been an exceptional young kid and leader, and he's growing. And so we're here to support his process and whatever career that he wants. A grant that we just received, we were recipient of the Youth Workforce Grant, and that was through the Previs Foundation. So kids that are on the pipeline, gang members involved with the justice system, 18 to 26, we're going to be able to bring in resources, but a workforce, an apprenticeship. And so any kids at that age that we have, and we've identified a few already, we'll be able to bring them in. So we have a great partnership with the Junior Achievement Center. And so we're going to work with the amazing leaders, Sid, and they're gonna do trainer. We're gonna facilitate, teach the kids the resume, how to keep the job, maintain it. and their board is all corporate. So the internships are going to be corporate. And so they're going to be outlined to where corporate and banks, their board is, they got the CEOs of this, and that. And so I'm really excited to be able to bring that resource back to Hoover and to the community as well.
It's
You were
incredible.
talking about data last year. And so what was that data that took place last year? I know there was 3 months with no incident, but through your leadership, I know a lot of kids did not get expelled. Can you explain that?
So we want kids in school. Obviously, that's the whole premise of this institution, right? To get them in school. We do believe, though, that a system is set up and that the system is not broken. It's achieving exactly what it's supposed to achieve. And in this case, and unfortunately, maybe I'm a cynic, but I don't believe that the system is always set up to support everyone equally. And so my role, my belief system is that I want me and my team, I want us to be that something extra that our kids need. And so last year we worked really close. We worked with you, we worked with our partners. There's no ego. It's I may not be what the student needs, but let me find who is. I may not be the safe person that that student is going to be vulnerable with, but let me find who is. And so we worked very hard. Obviously, I mean, you were there with us side by side the entire year, and there came a point where I think kids were like, "I want to come to school. I want to feel safe." One of the boys said to me one day, "You know what I want? I want to be able to go to the restroom without feeling like I'm going to get caught with my pants down." And it sounds crude, and but I got it. I get it. It sounds what a basic human right to be able to feel safe at the moments where you're just most vulnerable, right? And so we were everywhere. And there was a point where kids, would see us come in, they're like, "Man, they're everywhere." And part of it was we just want to keep you safe. We don't want somebody to feel like they need to prove something and then you feel like you're painted in a corner and you have to respond. So I'm so proud of the entire Hoover organization. Every staff member across the board um, worked hard, and our data showed that it was working. And almost every measurable data point, we showed improvement. Doubled our math scores, increased our English scores, increased graduation rate. The part that I think was most difficult, but we were able to do, was the impact to suspensions. And we had talked about that earlier in the year because we were noticing an increase in suspensions. And I'm referring suspensions specifically to um, aggressive action, fights, anything along those lines. And initially, excuse me, in the first couple months, we noticed an increase. And at that rate, I'm a math person, so I was like, "Ooh, this is not looking good. We're increasing. We're moving in the wrong direction. What's going on?" And so we did a deep dive of our data around suspensions, around fighting and aggressive kind of behaviors, and we realized that in the past, the data was we weren't comparing apples to apples. So let's say that there's a whole group and a whole group fighting. They would get just the main perpetrators, and that's 2 suspensions, even though there might have been 10 kids involved. We got them all and connected with all of them. Some of them were aiding and abetting. Some of them were initiating a riot. Some were, and so they tripped out a little like, "What do you mean? You're going to suspend me? I didn't fight. I didn't throw a punch. I didn't." But you sat there on the sidelines egging somebody on, you know, throwing out, "Oh, you're a buster. Oh, you're a punk." All of that is what made your friend feel like he had to do something to save face. You gave him an audience, so he had to perform. So guess what? We all want to be involved. Well, let's go be involved. We're all in it. Let's consequences for everybody. So I would jokingly tell him, "You want to be involved? I'm going to be like Oprah. Consequence for you, consequence for you, consequence for you." And I try to use humor as much as possible because I want to diffuse the anger and the feelings that they're having, right? Not in a way to humiliate, not to make fun of, but I'm like, here's where I'm at. And so that making sure that everyone that was involved to any degree out of consequence did hit our data.
Mm.
But when when we finally got ahead of the game and working together and students realizing that, hey, I'm not going to get away with it, it decreased. And we just saw a steady decrease. Arthur, I remember the first week that we went without a fight. And we were standing out, and people would say, "Hey, happy Friday." I'm like, "Don't happy Friday me. Do not happy Friday me. Happy Friday me at 4:45 when everybody's gone. Then it's happy Friday."
Yeah.
And I remember the first Friday that the admin team came together after, and we looked around. We're like, "Wait a minute. We didn't have a single fight this week." I w You would think that we won a new
A
car.
lottery.
It just felt good. We're like,
Uh-huh.
"All right, what did we do so we could keep doing it, and what can we do better?" We ended with a decrease in suspensions, an increase in alternative to suspensions. There are a couple events, a couple incidents, excuse me, that took place that required um, an, us to follow the expulsion process. Anytime there's someone is hurt, there's a significant uh, can't think of the word, like they're significantly hurt. It's kind of out of our hands. There are certain things that we may suspend for or expel for, and others that we must suspend or expel for. And so in those two cases, we had to, but it wasn't without having put in all of our resources and our efforts to avoid it. So when it did come to it, I mean, the data spoke for itself. They're like, "Wow, you guys, there's nothing you haven't done to support this student before it got to this point."
And it allowed us to do our role as youth empowerment, like waiting after school, setting up all the different stations throughout the community to the YMCA or our after school program here at the office. And they have it all set up. Station here, across the street, walkie talkie, the threats that come from outside the community to the school to create that havoc. And so we were able to identify that. And so having a presence out there in the community, people see that, oh, you know what? Those guys in blue and black, with they right? Let's not do nothing. Let's not get involved. And so it allowed us to do our work. And then it also allowed us to do our work at the after school program, which is work with these individuals on self help, personal development, how to handle difficult feelings when they're angry, resentful, that boredom, and when they're angry, not react to where they become violent, or if they have resentment in their hearts for whatever reason, that could lead to drugs, alcohol. And so us being able to have that safe space was rewarding for us. I remember first starting at the YMCA in the first 2 months, it was intense, right? I don't have no hair, but I lost whatever I had. And so we were talking about putting all these kids in one room, right? That don't get along. And I was like, okay, so we gotta this is gonna be a process. But within the 2, 3 months, building the relationships, taking these kids out to new experiences, not only for them, for the mentors as well. They've been camping, nature quests, surfing, to the beach. And 90% of these kids, they ain't never done that, nothing like that. They haven't had that experience. And so they're excited, and we were able to build that trust into the point where even though they might not get along, they could share a shirt, share some sneakers, right? Share some food, a lunch, or whatnot. And so I believe the collaboration, and most importantly, the communication that we have, like on call, right? There's an incident at Hoover. Okay, we need to do a restorative justice circle and bring some healing to this and have a conversation and what can we do has been important.
It's been critical. I cannot stress enough how critical our partnership has been. When we talk about presence, there's two presence. There's being there, and then there's having a presence there. And not only could I call, I know I can text and be like, "Hey, can you come help?" Again, there's no ego. I can't I don't have that connection that your staff might have with them, right? You guys have been working with them, you know them, they know you, they trust you. And it was gonna take time for them to trust me. I was new to most of them. And but one, knowing that I could call and someone would answer and show up, I mean, just like a kid, just like a student, just like a young person. If I, as an adult, reach out and someone actually shows up, there's no pretext. There's no, "Oh, yeah, we're here for you. Call me if you need me," and then you're not there when I need you. That didn't happen. And so I knew from my experience that we could reach out and somebody would be there to support us. So then I was willing and I was able to do my part to bring you guys in. And again, it was no ego, it's a partnership for kids. So yeah, when you talk about like being there, they were there, 100% present, walking around, talking to kids, saludando, like
Right.
just, you know,
Yeah.
it was beautiful to see.
Personality wise, Michelle Wells, she got a strong personality. She could grip a kid real quick.
And they love
They
her
love her
and they
and they
respect her.
respect her.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because Michelle coming onto campus and she and I talking and it lent a bit of credibility for me as well. Because kids look at her and they're like, okay, well, if you say she's cool, then we'll give her a chance. And that again goes back to are we here for the same reasons? Are we here because for our careers? Are we here for the paycheck? Are we here for personal glory? Or are we here to serve
That's
kids?
right.
And yeah, after school, rain, sun, I mean, sunburned, for all of it.
Right.
And it was just, we were able to learn a lot from your staff as well. We watched, we observed, we listened, and we learned. And we were able to implement those skills. So great job on training or the continued learning because it impacts our community exponentially. They go out there, we watch, we observe, we learn, we try to emulate what they're doing, and it works. And now you have 50 people using the same approaches, just treating people with dignity and respect, even when their behavior is not respectful. That's not who they are. And we all, right? We all make mistakes. And I've shared with kids, I'm so grateful that cameras and cell phones didn't exist when I was 15
Mm.
because probably wouldn't have my job I have now. But I mean, again, I think back to what are you thinking? I asked a kid one day, what are you thinking? I mean, how old are you? And he's like, 14. And I was like, never mind. I'm sorry. I just asked a really stupid question. What are you thinking? Well, you're thinking like a 14-year-old thinks. And I think about when I was 14 a long time ago. And I think about the real dumb things that I thought and I said and I did. And I realized I'm trying to treat them like they're grown, like they have skills to process the big feelings that they have and the experiences and what they're going through. When in reality, they really just want to be kids. They
Just want to be
want to
kids
get to school. They want to have fun. They want to play sports. They want to meet girls or boys or they just they just want to
and
live
live and a chance to live.
and a chance to live. And that's my job.
And you're doing a great job at it. And so
Well, thank
the
you.
the, the community, one thing also that stands out is CVS. They reached out to us. They're so grateful because just our presence was able to de-escalate violence or fights that they would take out to the community. There's a senior living place around there where now they're out there in their chairs and just hanging out, having their little coffee, talking, communicating, and just giving compliments to the YE staff. And so that's inspiring too. We're building healthy communities.
You're changing people's lives. It really is. I believe that education doesn't just change a person's life, it changes the trajectory of their entire family. And then that changes the trajectory of communities. To be able to walk to CVS and feel safe, to be able to engage with kids when they walk by and feel safe, just to be able to live, right? I mean, it's hard enough what you guys have been able to accomplish. And just the year that I've known you guys, I has been eye opening. It's been humbling. Um, I've learned so much, and I just want to continue to provide that space for students with your partnership together, where kids feel that they can come to school, that they can dare to dream, right? That they can dare to hope that there's something big for them out there, that they can get through high school and go to dances and meet people and experience heartbreak maybe. I don't think anybody wishes that, but it's gonna happen. And then be able to right? And then dare to have dreams for their future. When you don't feel hopeful, you can't dream about tomorrow. You're just trying to survive today. And I want our students to do more than just
Yeah,
survive
so
today.
we can't change that. No, we got to keep it the same. I know that for the YMCA, our numbers are going to rise. I believe we're going to 75, 80 per day. Right? Yeah, 75, 80 per day. And so we're going to figure out how that process is going to work out. We got our youth workforce development. If they're 18, that's going to be a great opportunity for them because we concentrate on the 18, I mean, the 13 through 18, but at 18, what's the next step? What's the next resources that's going to help these individuals? And so we're going to continue being on El Cajon Boulevard with our walkie talkies and communicating our stations. And you're going to be getting the texts and texting back and forth. And that's the beautiful thing, our communication. Because just like these kids on social media with these phones, they have the same access, right? So all it takes is one text, one post to create a sense of bullying, of pressuring, of recording a fight, and that could ignite a whole fire, right? And so we need to be equipped and be able to communicate just like them, but in a way where we're helping them, we're supporting them. So it's going to be an interesting year, right? And I know it's just starting.
You know, it's going to be a harder year than last year, but a different kind of hard. Last year it was just the basics: get kids in class, not have fights, not hotboxing in the restroom, you know, getting them to school. It seems basic. It's the big things. Uh, but now, I mean, and again, I don't want to jinx us. We still have 176 days in the school year, but who's counting?
Miss Carrillo.
But it's going to be it's going to be a different kind of hard because now we need to focus on
The
the
bigger
bigger things.
things.
Students who are struggling
Yes.
academically, students that are struggling with their mental health. How do we
That's
continue
right.
to build culture where kids feel like they deserve this? They deserve to think about their futures. They have every right to dare to have a great life and a great job and a future. And as we continue to change culture, which is I think where we're at now, and that's hard, that's where the hard work comes in, right? People have expectations. We might have a reputation. Um, we've got the political climate that's not doing us any favors. And conversations I'm having with kids is don't make it easy for them. Society might already think something about us. Don't prove them right. You scare them because you're so powerful as a culture, as a group of people. We're powerful. But if we're fighting amongst each other and we're offing each other, then we're not focused on moving ourselves, moving us forward, right? Um, that's
That's
going
going
to
to
be
be
the
the
hard
hard
part.
part and changing culture, building on it, but also different core beliefs that these kids might have from their household, their upbringing, and they might not even have parents at the home, or there might be just a mother or a dad or adoption system, and they need to feel safe. And the ones that are in the lifestyle, how could we change them beliefs and with the curriculum and the support and the mentorship that we're guiding to, they could the goal of the school is education, right? They could go into the class and come in and be able to concentrate and do their homework and uplift their goals to achieve their dreams.
I think as a school system, my job is to support my teachers. They're the boots on the ground. It's to provide them the resources, the space to plan and to prepare, um, the opportunities to look at curriculum as an opportunity to uplift people. Culturally responsive learning it's going to be imperative when we're teaching students about history. It's not an agenda; it's factual, but whose facts? And are we looking at it through a variety of lenses, right? Are we being critical about what's being fed to us? Are we being critical about what we see in the news, right? Even today, turn on the news today and you're going to hear stories about what's happening in City Heights. It's not an accident that the bad things happening are being, s- shared on the news. It's not an accident. What about all the amazing things that are happening? But that doesn't fit what people already believe about us. So I say it to students, to the kids all the time, to the students all the time. What you do matters. It's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your families. It's a reflection of your school, your culture. I don't go out in the streets and act a fool. Imagine if you saw your principal on the news, knock on wood, acting a fool. You'd be embarrassed, right? You'd be like, what the heck? Samesies, guys. Samesies. I want to look at you and see what you're doing and be like, that's mine. That's a cardinal. Who right? So yes, culture is the next big step, and it's making sure that our teachers um are given opportunities also to get to know kids and just to see more of it. But more than anything, it's, am I being the support that the teachers and the staff need so that they can do that hard work? Because guess what? I don't teach a class. I get to stand on stage with the certificate because Hoover they doubled their test scores. I didn't teach a math class, but I hope that what I did and what I was able to provide to staff was them preparing and planning and the materials that they needed so that when they teach the class, the kids are engaged.
That's right. That's awesome. That's my goal too. Inspiring, teaching, training, continuously being there, supportive. I could go in and just check in. But for the first 6, 7 months, I was like, I was out there, boots on the ground. And so that says a lot about the quality of staff that we have with youth empowerment. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your commitment to the school. Since you've been a leader at that school, not dwelling on past tense, we've seen a big difference in the climate, the teachers, the communication. Your vice principal, he's awesome. He's amazing. We got him booked for another training that's coming. He wants to take trainings and be a part of and learn the culture, right? What we're talking about.
I have three. There's three APs, Mr. Leon, Mr. Bortman, and Dr. Wilshire. And we are the most eclectic group of people. I mean, I jokingly refer to us as the, what is that, Bentington, the United Nations of Bentington commercials back from like the 80s. I never shopped there. I couldn't afford it. But you see the commercials and it was all like international. I mean, we have all the races and all the like represented, right? And it just, for our students to look at our staff and say, wow,
They
look,
need they need
they look like
they need
me.
to see that.
And they do. And it's amazing. So they're amazing, amazing individuals. And they're always also, we want to learn. We want to be better at our craft so we can be better for
That's right.
kids.
When he asked that question, I was like, okay, yeah, that's okay. He wants to get in. He wants to understand more of the culture. And so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Victorious voices.